Here's a list of questions that you should be asking yourself daily so that you can stay consistent on your journey of growth. So one day I was listening to Tony Robbins, who's a motivational speaker, business coach. I mean, he's one of those guys when it comes to the personal development world. And he was talking about the way we ask ourselves questions is what leads us to the answers that we're looking for. But the thing is the answers that we're looking for may be a great answer or it may be a very, very lousy answer. But the trick is to ask yourself the right questions, to ask yourself good questions. Because if you ask yourself really great questions, it will lead you to the great answers. But if you ask yourself lousy questions, it will lead you to lousy answers. So for example, a lousy question may be, why am I always failing, right? Like, why am I not good enough? Why am I so depressed? Questions like those, it will lead you to the answers that you're looking for. So you may say, oh, it's because my family has always been this way. It's because I grew up without a father. It's because I'm a certain race. All these things will start to plague you, and you start to pick up this identity of someone that is truly not good enough. And as a result, you do not good enough things. And that's one of my favorite things to tell my clients, but that's going to be another podcast. So the art of asking yourself a beautiful question, a great question, it'll give you the answers that you're looking for, and it will show you the actions that you should be taking. All right, please listen to me, guys, when I'm saying this. So what I want to do is I want to give you guys a list of questions that you should be asking yourself daily so that way you know that you're on the right track. And the first question is something that you can ask yourself in the morning. What is it that I need to do today to make today a successful day? What are the actions that I need to commit to that's going to show me that, hey, today was a productive day, a successful day? If you don't have those goals set, trust me when I say, you're just going to be going through life just guessing, hoping, wishing, and you're going to look up maybe 3 years, 4 years, 10 years down the road and be like, did I accomplish anything? The answer may be no, unfortunately, or it may be, well, not as much as I could have. And it's because you didn't have intention behind each and every day. Something that I've been telling my clients, and it's something that I do to myself, even on the weekends, I write down what are the goals and the actions that I need to accomplish for that day. And if you want to take it a step further, you can put in your calendar for the day each time that you want to accomplish those goals. Now, what's fun about that is that you can make it a game between you and yourself. Let's see if I can knock out all 5 today. And if you didn't, let's look at, well, what got in our way. Things like that, it helps to tighten the belt. It helps you to get a little bit more sharper in your execution. And when you become a master executor, what can stop you? So one of the first questions is to ask yourself in the morning, what is it that I need to accomplish today that's going to make today a successful day? The next one is a great one, and I love to ask this when it comes to building confidence. So the question is, what actions would I take if I knew I couldn't fail? Think about that. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you then start to do? How would you treat yourself? What would you stop doing? These are the questions that's going to help you to tap into the exact things that you should be doing. And when you do that, you're going to find yourself feeling confident because you're actually executing. There's nothing like having a mountain full of social proof showing you that you are who you say you are. And if we don't have that, we start to then feel like an imposter, because when we look back, we see that, well, you know what? I didn't accomplish any of the things that I said I was going to accomplish. And if you read a book called The 4 Agreements, one of the 4 agreements is to always keep your word. That's something that is very key. And when you're able to trust yourself, the doubt goes away. And that comes from asking yourself questions like that. So if you knew you couldn't fail, what actions would you then start to accomplish? Here's the third one, and I love this one. And it's simple. If my 5-year-old version of myself was watching me, what actions would I then start to take? Okay. If 5-year-old version of me was watching, what actions would I then start to take? And we asked that question because we know what it was like when we were 5. And we know how important it was to look up to those people because they gave us the information of how to be, who we should be, how we should act, the qualities that are important to us. Like it served as a framework, to be honest. And when you ask yourself that question, it gives you an accountability, honestly, that you truly need. So when you look at that business that you're about to start or that you're currently running, and if you're thinking, man, I should raise my prices, or man, I should launch that video. Like when you're thinking questions like that, ask yourself, if your 5-year-old version was sitting there and just watching and staring at you with all the doubt, not taking any action, would that be something you'd be comfortable teaching them? I think you would say no, right? At least I hope so. If that's the case, let's do the things that we want to show him or her that is important. That's the accountability that sometimes we need. And if you walk through life with that question, you'll do the right thing. Trust me. All right, this next one is great because it's directly tied to my podcast and to the YouTube channel. So ask yourself, what habits would I be thankful for building 3 years down the line, right? What is the habit that if you sit down and you really cultivate it, you really craft it, what is that habit that you'd be grateful for 3 years down the line? Some people may say eating better, exercising, doing a podcast, which is definitely related to me. These are the things that's going to serve and serve as dividends, right? It's going to give you dividends. It's going to give you the investments that you're looking for long term, especially with the eating right, going to the doctor, exercising. That's just going to simply add more years to your life, right? Who doesn't want that? So ask yourself, what's the thing that I want to look down 3 years down the line and still be doing, right? What are those dividends that I'm going to get back that's going to feel awesome, that's going to feel amazing? All right, next, this one comes strictly from my therapy, and it's from the word workability. And you ask yourself, if I follow this thought, question, or action, will it lead me to the life that I want? Is it helping me to work towards the values that I hold near and dear to my heart? If the answer is yes, then we want to follow those. If the answer is no, then we want to let those go. And the reason why we ask, is this helping me? Because everything that's right isn't right, okay? Think about that. Everything that's right isn't right. And that's why people fall victim to self-sabotage over and over and over again. Something that someone may say is that, well, it's right to protect my feelings, right? And if they do that, right, to the degree of not opening up, being isolated, not giving their all in a relationship, they're not going to have that connection that they're looking for, right? They're going to be protected, but they're going to be protected in a way that doesn't allow any connection or intimacy to come into their lives. And that's something that I don't think that they want. So you need to ask yourself, is this helping me? Whether or not, or versus, is this right or wrong? Next, this goes to time management, and this is a really great one to ask. So what is the action that is important but not urgent that I'm not taking at this moment? Because sometimes what happens is we fall victim to following the things that are urgent and important, but we don't do the things that are important but not urgent. So I'll give you an example. Something that's important but not urgent, as I mentioned earlier, would be exercising, right? It's not like, hey, if I don't exercise today, I'm going to die or something like that, right? Like, it's like, all right, right? I can put it off to next week, next month, next year. And that's what people end up doing until they get to the point where it becomes important and urgent. And it's because they have diabetes, high blood pressure, like all these other different things, right? So you want to look at what we call the 4 quadrants, and this is called the Eisenhower time matrix. You can Google that. So ask yourself, in quadrant 2, what are some of those activities that I need to take? And the things that are in quadrant 2 are the things that are important, but not necessarily urgent. It's not a do it right now, if you will. All right, next, ask yourself, who is someone that I care about that I haven't spoken to in a while? Who is someone that I care about that I haven't spoken to today? This is going to help you to build in that relationship domain when it comes to the 4 domains of life. And you have to be a client of mine to know about that. But the domain of relationship is very important to us because it helps us to feel more connected to the world, right? Us as human beings, we are creatures that love social activity. Without that, we would almost die, right? And there's so many stories of people being cast away in isolation, especially in prisons, that have been in the hole, in the being, whatever it is, and just losing their mind to the point where they're taking their own lives. So ask yourself, who's someone that you can reach out to. It may be a client, maybe a family member, right? Maybe a friend. Who knows? It may even be checking in with yourself. Put that on your list for that day and do it and see how it makes you feel, but also notice how it makes them feel. I'm pretty sure they'd be happy that you reached out to them. All right, next, if you're an entrepreneur, this is a great one, a real quick one, real easy one. Start asking yourself, how can I get my clients to accomplish their goals faster, right? How can I help them to accomplish their goals faster with less effort or maybe even cheaper, right? Why is this important? Well, if you look at Domino's, right? And you have to know the story of Domino's, but I'll tell it real quick. So the way Domino's became what they are is because they told their customers that if they didn't get their pizza delivered to them in 30 minutes or less, the pizza would be free, right? Think about that, right? The speed that they was able to accomplish the goal of delivering the pizza. Before then, people would have to go and pick up their pizzas, or if they did order it, it may take like an hour or maybe like an hour and a half or several hours, right? Domino's said, hey, we can cut those times in half. And when they did that, the customers started just throwing money at them. And it's because we like things to be handled quicker, faster, right? With less effort. And if you answer that question as an entrepreneur, you're going to find a new system that's going to help you to get more money and get more customers. Now, if you're working 9 to 5, A question that you can ask yourself is, how do I help my team members, or even how can I accomplish my goals faster at our organization? All right. This is going to lead to the teamwork, the team building activities, maybe finding new systems, new SOPs, so standard operating procedures. These are the things that make the company run, and they can save and increase margins for that company. But you have to be asking yourself that question. If you answer it, again, you're going to find great answers, right? And it's all about asking yourself great questions, because it's going to lead you to great answers. And the last one, this is something you can ask yourself at the end of the day. What did I accomplish today? And if I didn't accomplish something, what got in my way? What were some of the time wasters that kind of robbed me of this time, the opportunity that I had to accomplish the goals that I've previously set for that day? This is another way to help tighten that belt, right? To sharpen your saw, as we say. If you continually ask yourself that question, it's going to lead you just to more and more answers and opportunities to become more proficient at taking action and accomplishing your goals. These are some questions that you can ask yourself on a daily basis just to stay consistent with your focus, with your growth, with your business, everything that you can look for. Stop asking yourself lousy questions and ask the right questions. So guys, this is Coach Wolves. Thank you for checking out this podcast. Don't forget to comment so that way I know that you're watching, but also let me know what you would love the next episode to be about. That way I could craft an episode specifically for you. All right, guys, I'll see you later.